Good evening, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 10:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night, August 3rd, 2021. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. This is not financial advice. The video is intended for educational purposes only. Stay up to date with the latest videos. Click subscribe. Click the like. I don't have the little thumbs up thing in here, but click the like so that this thing percolates to the top. You know, we want to generate as much interest in this product, the iExec RLC coin. Very important that you click the like button. Intraday updates in the description below. I'll have a couple of links that we'll talk about very shortly, but let's get into the markets. Right now, RLC is looking fairly healthy on this long-term trend line. I think we talked about this on the last video. This line has been intact. We're doing this V-shaped recovery pattern here. Let's see how far up this goes. But as I mentioned, we have these ominous and actually very healthy, gyrations. I mean, they are very volatile, but at the same time, you can kind of almost predict that we have waves here. So we're down here, and now we're probably going to start our trek back up. Now, a couple of things to point out. Number one, where am I invested in RLC? I am at $5 and change. I'm still way above where the market is right now. So I'm kind of taking an unrealized P&L hit. Not worried about it at all. So going back into what I'm thinking about here is I look at, we just looked at the RLC US dollar pair, but let's take a look at the Bitcoin because I'm starting to see some interesting stuff there. Taking a look at this. Now, I just noticed that we're starting to see this strange looking pennant formation here. I can't really tell if it's a pennant formation that is filling in this thing properly, but certainly a flagpole to some extent. I mean, anything that goes up that quickly, you automatically know it can be a flagpole. Like in this particular case over here, it's not a flagpole because it kind of went all the way back down. But this thing went straight up and didn't go past the halfway point of the pole on the way back down. So going back up and down and oscillating like that, it's generally a good sign. We just have to see how this plays out. We're only a couple of days away from having this thing, for this thing to forcefully figure out which direction it wants to go. So it could happen anytime between now and then. These pennants and flags never go to the very end usually. They usually make up their minds before. So we'll take a look and see how this thing's going. But right now we're at 85.15. Can't complain. It's a healthy pattern. It's over this longer term yellow line here, the support line. Now we went below it when the what was hitting the fan, but now we're back over the line. So if I drew the line further out, right there, looking for the yellow one, pulling it over, we're back over it. So we're in good shape here. Let's see how things go. Looking back, let's just go back to the RLC US dollar pair. If I drill into this, what I see is that we're starting to see a little bit of support here. So, we could take another shot higher, and we could be going to $4. But we have to see how things play out because Bitcoin's not looking good, and this is where things start getting a little hairy. Now, as you recall, we had this big resistance line here that we drew probably 3 weeks ago now, and we did pass it. And once we passed it, we knew we were going up. We almost got back on track on this green line, which points to where, the 80,000 mark in December of this year. However, we came close, really close, up to almost 43,000, started coming back down. Now, you look at this yellow support line here, and I'll just kind of have to bring this a little further back. All right. Right over there, we have a break. Now, this was another support line. As soon as we went down hard, and now we're trying to figure out. So we have a big gap here. I don't know where this thing lands. There's no pattern here giving me any specific indication. There's no trend line to tell me which way it could be going. Yeah, I could kind of go like this and another one like that. But, this channel doesn't look like it's going to last long. And it's either going to belt below or it's going to belt up. Personally, I'm hoping we kind of get over this and get back into the 40 range. But that's hopeful thinking. We need a few days to figure out which way this thing's really going. So keep your eye on that. It's at 38,287. Reminder, today went down It went down as low as 37 and change. Nothing crazy. Now let's look at the Bitcoin dominance. And I tell everyone dominance actually matters here. Looks like we might be starting to go back down. Now the dominance line was pretty good, looking good. You know, we knew we were going to go up in the direction. I wasn't sure. Didn't look too good over here because normally when you go down, as I mentioned in the last video actually, when you go down into a triangular pattern like this, and then it starts coming up a little bit, and then it starts completing this triangle, you know, 52% to 48% of the time. 52% will go down at the end of this triangle. 48% will go up. And there's a pattern site which will give you all the great percentages of, you know, which way patterns typically resolve. And you'll see that those are, and I'll put that on the links below. It's actually an interesting read and help you identify any patterns in anything that you're looking at as far as cryptos or stock charts. So a couple of things that just recently came out. There was a video with RLC folks talking about the RLC product. The head of RLC or iExec, this gentleman on the right, Gilles Fedak. This is in French, so if you don't speak French, you're kind of out of luck. But, you know, luckily YouTube does have an auto-translate capability. So if you go here and then you click on, you click closed captions first, and then you go over here, you can click auto-translate and then click on English. And then you'll be able to see the English translation on YouTube. So that's the way to, you know, be able to listen to this. Just came out on August 1st, got a healthy number of views on it, and I think it's worthwhile listening to. He's basically talking about some of the use cases. And one thing that's great about these, you know, when crypto companies come out and they start talking about the use cases, that's where we connect with the broader world, right? The more normal thinker, the normal non-techno junkies, which are the majority of us, right? A lot of us don't have all the little itty-bitty details of every little bit and byte of technology. So he's explaining here what the actual, you know, what it would actually be used for. It's not just something you invest in because it's a crypto. You invest in it because there's something more compelling about it in a real world use case. And this is where what this guy explains through, how is it used with artificial intelligence and things of that nature. So I really recommend you listen to this and set it to auto-translate to the language of your choice. And then one other thing that I just want to just point out here is that, you know, iExec version 6, as I mentioned on the last video, was rolled out. We do have the iExec Oracle Factory and Gallery that will be coming out sometime, probably in the next couple of months. And then if you read this, and I'll put this link down there as well, this just came out today. And this is kind of going through the actual use cases. And this is something that every crypto company should be pushing out. How is this thing actually going to be used? Because it's a big mystery. A lot of these cryptocurrencies operate on Discord, on Telegram. You know, it's really hard to know how are people using the product. And this definitely gives you a good idea. They give you one use case about the insurance industry. As it relates to iExec Oracle Factory, it's really just a place where you can rely on. It's a data set that you could actually rely on. And there will be multiple data sets out there that will be validated and available through these Oracle factories. And that's what you need to know. It's really reliable information. Same thing, if you go down here, you know, being able to get access to market data. And market data can be daily prices, daily close prices on the NASDAQ, you know, et cetera, to give you information around things that are important to your application. So as these developers are building these things out, at least they have Oracle factories, which are these data sets, data oracles that'll actually give you reliable information. So you don't have to worry about it. And that's exactly what this is all about. They give you stuff on the betting industry. I'll put this on the post also. It's really, really a good read. and I fully recommend it, especially if you're invested in it and you're kind of scratching your head saying, well, why the hell am I invested in iExec? Well, this kind of gives you a good idea of why. I mean, preferably you would have done this research before you invested in it, but this could be catch up to you too. Anyway, I'm out, and let's see how things play out. I'll be tweeting.